The way you live every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year is what makes up your life. So you do not want to wait any longer to gain the freedom you desire and to gain the business that you desire. So if you're like, okay, Sarah, cool, but how do I do this? This is why I am here for you now. I have a special, exciting binge week in store for you this week. And firstly, I just want to make sure you can kind of self identify on whether all the episodes that are coming out this week are for you. So, if you are a photographer that feels like you are overworked and underpaid, aka not making as much money as you want, or you feel like there's not enough time or hours in a day to get everything you want done, you feel exhausted, you feel like you're lacking energy, your life feels chaotic, you feel like you have no personal life at times, even. When you're working, you feel guilty that you're not spending time with loved ones. And when you're spending time with loved ones, you feel guilty that you're not working. You may also be experiencing body aches from sitting at your computer too much, or like even a short fuse with loved ones because you're just constantly feeling like stressed and overwhelmed. I wanted to say overworked and overwhelmed at the same time, so that's what came up. And you feel like you're constantly playing catch up. And then when you even think about getting support in your business in some way through outsourcing, whether you've tried it or not, you feel this feeling inside of you that everything should come from you. You are the artist, or like no one can do it as well as you can. So you don't even continue down the path of even trying to outsource. Or maybe you're like, outsourcing is expensive. I can't afford it. There's no way I can afford to outsource, or I think it's expensive. I don't even know where to start. So, if any of these resonated with you, even one or two, or I'm assuming maybe even a lot of them resonated with you, then this week is literally for you. I'm just going to call it binge week just for fun because it makes me think of like a really good series on Netflix. So, what I realized is when I was going back through all the podcast episodes that I've recorded over the past 4 years, I've recorded 28 episodes on the topic of outsourcing. Holy crap, that's a lot. And there's so much juiciness in all of them. And the idea that I had and what I want to do is I'm going to actually take all the ones that were like the most popular, the most loved, the most valued, and I'm going to release them one day at a time for the rest of this week so that you can enjoy them and binge them and feel hopeful for your future that this isn't the way that it has to be. Like, it doesn't have to feel like you're constantly on the struggle bus or surviving. Like, success as a photographer can totally feel like even like slow abundant living. It could totally feel that way. And I'm definitely here to help show you that the new paradigm for success for us as photographers is to have an abundance of time while also making an abundance of money at the same time. It's not just I have all these bookings and I'm making all that money. That's not what success has to be. We can also add time to the equation and having a lot more energy and vitality. That could be our new success that we're striving for, and it's totally possible and doable. And so a lot of these episodes, they're pulled from like random years because the most popular ones are kind of just all over the place. It depends on which year I release them, but I just want you to keep in mind that they're pulled from outside of me launching my Outsourcing Made Easy course. They're pulled from in the middle of a launch. So if you're listening to an episode and randomly I'm talking about signing up for OMI today, or today is the last day, or I don't talk about signing up for OMI. Just know it's a past episode. And for context, this year in 2024, the Doors to Outsourcing Made Easy, my program where I give you the step-by-step roadmap to cutting back 70% of your working time behind your computer so that you can shoot more, make more money, and work less overall. The doors are opening first week of October in 2024. So keep your eyes out, keep your ears out for that. And if you want to make it super easy for yourself so you don't miss the short window of time that the doors will be open, because they only open for a short window of time once a year. And every year I have people messaging me being like, what? You launched it a month ago, I totally missed it. I wish I saw. So, like, make sure to get on the priority list so you can be the first to know. And when you are on the priority list, you will get access to special perks that no one in the public has. So, this is like, these are like my VIPs that are like, ooh, I'm interested, tell me more. And if you are on the priority list, I'm going to treat you extra special, extra good. I'm going to give you those special perks, but there's no pressure to like obviously sign up or anything like that. It's just a way for you to gather more information for you to make the best decision for yourself. And at the end of the day, I just want you to make the best decision for yourself. So um, do that. Click the link in the show notes, get on that priority list. And also, while I have you here, before we dive into this episode, I also have a really exciting workshop that I've put together for you. If you have been feeling all the things that I just mentioned, right? And this is really exciting. It's brand new, it's fresh. I've never done it before. I feel so drawn and called to offer it. And it's so affordable. It's under $50 and it's a workshop style workshop where you're actually going to put pen to paper and get stuff done and get answers and get clarity. So it's called the Reclaim Your Time and Energy Workshop, and it's going to be happening on September 18th, which is a Wednesday. So just around the corner. It's going to be about 2 hours long. And in there, you're going to get clarity on where you're wasting your precious time and energy in your photography business. And that you're also going to discover your dream hourly rate that you need to know about so you know where you're going and you know what you're striving towards and you know how many bookings you need and how much money you want to make and how many hours you want to be spending in order to make that hourly rate. Like if you don't know your hourly rate, it's kind of like you're flying blind. It's kind of like an airplane takes off but then it doesn't have like a target, like a city to fly to. So this dream hourly rate is kind of like your pin on the map of like, oh, that's where I'm flying to. Okay, now I can make aligned decisions to get to that dream hourly rate while I'm also saving my time and my energy along the way. So oh my gosh, as I'm looking out the window, there's a plane flying by. So, this is going to be such a fun workshop. You're going to get so many answers. I'm going to have worksheets for you. You're going to ask me questions live if you need to. I'm going to be coaching people live. You're going to connect with other photographers in the community so you feel less alone. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for you to join this workshop. So, go to the link in my show notes, sign up for it. It's under $50, super affordable. And when you sign up for it, I think what's even more fun is if we just grow the community experience even more. So invite two of your photographer friends, your two closest photographer friends that you would love to go through these exercises with, that you would love to then leave the workshop and support each other continuously with the answers that you received, like because you are who you surround yourself with. And that way you can create this beautiful little accountability situation for each other. And so that would be such a beautiful way for you to experience the workshop. And I would be so honored to teach you these incredible, like mind blowing moments of how you can build your business in a way where you're saving your time, you're saving your energy, and you're working towards that dream hourly rate that is just going to make you feel so fulfilled because you're going to be making really amazing money for the craft that you love doing, which is photography. So click the link in the show notes. I cannot wait to see you in the workshop. And I hope you enjoy this binge week of episodes. And yeah, grateful for you. Welcome back to the pod. I'm your host, Sarah Monica, and you are tuning in to a really, really important episode to tune into if you are a photographer. And I know you're a photographer because you're here, you're tuning into the Shine and Thrive Photography podcast. So, more importantly and more specifically, this is such an important episode to tune into if you are burnt out and overwhelmed and overworked and you're putting in all these hours of effort and literally like blood, sweat, tears, and sitting behind your computer trying to watch Netflix while snacking, eating on the run, and just editing away for 12 hours straight. Like if you are going through that while also not making the income that you need or you want, then you need to listen to this full and entire episode. You're not going to want to miss it. On top of me teaching you and walking you through the cost of outsourcing, which I will actually share with you my actual cost of outsourcing from like an example month in my career, I will actually also be sharing the true cost of not outsourcing as well. So you will be able to see both sides with different examples, and that way you can decide for yourself what is the best path for you, to outsource or not to outsource. That is the question. And also on top of that, there's a lot of things in this episode. You will get an exclusive behind the scenes tour of my Outsourcing Made Easy program, where I will walk you through module by module of everything that you will be learning. And keep in mind, the doors are closing to OMI very, very soon on October 21st. So this Thursday, for an entire year until the fall of 2022. So like I said, if you're burnt out and overwhelmed and you know who you are, keep tuning in. Okay, so first I'm going to start off this episode by saying, very bluntly, and this is said with love, I always love challenging photographers and students by speaking the straight up truth, because that's the only way we transform. So if you aren't happy with the way things are in your business right now, right? If you are running on empty, if you are finding yourself complaining about all the emails and all the editing and all the culling, and you're starting to even resent your clients, then I want you to stop complaining. Stop it, because it's not going to get you anywhere. It is going to actually make things worse. It's going to make you more stressed. It's going to make you feel even more overwhelmed. And when you complain, that doesn't help your brain find solutions at all. It just helps you stay in this negative mindset, which just propels you into a more unhappier state, right? So if you aren't happy with the way things are, then make a change. You need to make a change. You are the one in the driver's seat making decisions in your life and business, okay? And if you just take that in for a second, take that in and really feel it. Be like, yeah, Sarah, I am the one in the driver's seat making the decisions in my life and business. Doesn't that feel so much more empowering? Don't you feel so much more powerful than feeling and making yourself a victim of what is happening to you in your business with all this work that you have and all of blah, 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 right? Get out of the victim mentality. Stop that. It's not going to get you anywhere. At one point in your business, you were dreaming of having all of these bookings. You were dreaming of being busy, right? And now that you're there and you have this problem that you think is a problem of being really, really busy, let's not complain about it. Let's figure out how to solve this problem and make it a positive thing. Because like you've learned from the past episodes that I put out on outsourcing, it's possible for you to work part-time hours as a photographer and make a full-time income. And remember, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And also just remember that literally the way you live every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year is what makes up your life. So you do not want to wait any longer to gain the freedom you desire and to gain the business that you desire. So if you're like, okay, Sarah, cool, but how do I do this? This is why I am here for you now. And I want you to use this support right now, because I am literally right now in my Instagram DMs answering questions at people that are on the fence about outsourcing made easy. They're scared to, dive in, to make the commitment. They don't know if they can afford it. They don't know if they're in the right place to start outsourcing in their business. I am in my DMs right now helping photographers decide that. And I always say, I will never, ever, ever sell a resource to a photographer if I don't think it's the right fit for them. I have told certain photographers that, you know what, maybe wait another year till Outsourcing Made Easy opens again. Do this first and this, and then I think you'll be ready. And then I have told other photographers, I'm like, literally everything is screaming at you to start and you're just scared. And you need to move through that fear to get to the other side and to grow. It's called growing pains for a reason, right? It's uncomfortable, it's scary, right? And you've felt this many times throughout your business. You were terrified the first time you went to go shoot a wedding or a session, but you did it, and now look at you. You're doing it over and over again. You may be a little less scared than a little less scared the next time you do it. The next time you do it, you're still scared, uncomfortable, but it's because you care.
And I want you to know that fear isn't a bad emotion and uncomfortability isn't a bad emotion. It just means that you care, and that is actually telling you that you want the thing, right? And you want to do a good job at the thing. So listen to that and actually use it as a compass. Okay, so for me to get into right now an example of the cost of outsourcing, I'm going to walk you through my September 2018 numbers of that 1 month. And I'm only going to walk you through that 1 month because I had 11 weddings. It was a very random occurrence. I had 5 doubleheader weddings and 1 Wednesday wedding. And I normally would not have at all taken that many weddings if I wasn't outsourcing. If I wasn't outsourcing, I probably would have kept it at 5 weddings, and 6 weddings would have been like, oh my God, I am not sleeping. I am not seeing anybody, right? Because you're in your editing cave. So keep that in mind. I only took that on because I could easily do it because I was outsourcing. And of course, you know what 11 weddings means: more money, more income, right? So I'm going to walk you through the cost of outsourcing my editing that month. So basically, in total, I'm going to first give you the amount of money I made in revenue from those 11 weddings in that month. So that was about $60,000. Okay, in 1 month, because I was able to take on that many weddings. Then my cost of outsourcing those weddings to be edited was $2,900. Then my cost of culling, getting those weddings culled, was $661. So my total revenue to keep in my business after I paid to outsource my editing and my culling was $57,000. And as you know from listening to what I said earlier, I would have not have taken on all those weddings if I wasn't outsourcing. So that just shows you how much is possible, how much income you're able to bring in. And I was doing what I loved most. I was shooting. And because I saved so much time, I was able to easily regenerate myself during the week to be ready for another doubleheader. So now that I'm talking about time, let me tell you how much time I saved because I outsourced that month, so you can actually see that I did have the time to re-energize myself for the following wedding weekend. So, okay, in total, I would have been working 243 hours that month. I literally kept track of all this data so I can then later share it with other photographers to inspire them to outsource. So I would have been working 243 hours. Because I outsourced my editing and my culling, the amount of time I actually spent working was 122 hours. So if you take 243 hours minus 122, I literally cut my working time in half. And just to get a little bit more specific, on average, every single week, I saved 22 hours per week editing. And on average, every single week, I saved about 8.25 hours culling. So that is, if you add 22 hours saved from editing and 8.25 hours culling per week, that is 30 hours per week saved. How many days is that? Pretty much 3 to 4 days. So you can see now that I literally had so much time to recharge, to take care of myself. And I want you to start thinking of outsourcing, of investing in outsourcing as investing in camera equipment. Because when you first thought of investing in camera equipment, it's like, okay, $2,000 for this lens, $2,000 for this camera body. Oh, and I'm a wedding photographer. I need another camera body to have as a backup. Oh my God, all this is adding up, right? It's scary. It's like, holy shit, I'm handing over so much money. But that's what it is. It's an investment because you know that as soon as you let go of that money, you're going to have the thing that is going to help you generate more income and more income and more income over the years. This is exactly what outsourcing is. It's the same thing. And if you don't start, you're not going to give yourself the possibility to let go of all of those hours spent in front of the computer to be able to start shooting more. You're just going to be stuck forever, right? So I just want you to think of you letting go of that money. It's just money. It's just energy. It's just a tool in your business to work smarter and not harder. So don't let that stupid little fear stop you from having the business and the life that you want, right? You've moved through this fear many times in your life in different situations. You've got to the other side. How are you now? I'm sure you're doing great. You are doing good, right? You've made it through. Bet on yourself and trust that you are able to do this for yourself, okay? So, what I want you to realize is that I say this over and over again, time is non-refundable. Once you spend it, it is gone, right? Money is refundable. You are able to get it back because you're able to figure out a way to take more bookings, right? To take on more sessions, more weddings. Especially when you have more time on your hands, you're easily able to market yourself more. So what ends up happening when you buy yourself more time with that money that you spent on outsourcing? This is what happens. You have more time to market yourself and your business, which brings you more bookings and more money than if you didn't have that time in the first place. You can focus your precious energy on only the tasks that bring you joy in your business. You have more time with your loved ones, kids, family, friends, yourself. And remember, once this time has gone by, once your kids have grown from 3 to 5 years old, once those birthday parties are gone, like you never get that back. So you spending that money on outsourcing buys you more money through more shooting, more income, and on top of that, more time with loved ones, right? And after all, isn't that what life is all about? On top of that, you have more time for other things like interests and hobbies. So you see, when you don't outsource, you are literally leaving more free time and also a higher income on the table. It's all interconnected. It's like an ecosystem. And if you're going to stay stubborn and be like, no, it's not going to work for me because this and that and this and that, and you're going to argue for your limitations because you want to stay comfortable, then you're just going to end up doing everything yourself forever. You're going to eventually break. And when that happens, you're either going to give up on your dream of being a photographer because you're going to have your limiting belief of, well, it just takes too many hours to run a photography business, right? You're either going to leave your career as a photographer, or you're going to start to finally be like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to start to outsource because there's no other way. So why not save yourself all that energy, all of that chaos in the future down the line? Why not just do that now? And remember, now I told you the cost of outsourcing, which is literally money that is just an investment, a very, very, very smart investment in your business. So now let me tell you about the cost of not outsourcing. The cost of outsourcing is heavy. It's letting your life pass you by without having more free time to spend with your kids and loved ones. And every time I say this, it chokes me up because I'm 4 months away from Rory and I having our first kid. And I've been working diligently to get to the point where I can work part-time hours as a photographer, having my dream job while making my dream income so I can give my kids the world, so we can have more free time, we can travel, all the things, right? I get so choked up because I can't even imagine starting my journey being a parent and working 12 to 15-hour days trying to being a photographer, trying to be a parent, not making the full-time income I deserve. My kids, so many photographers tell me that their kids walk up to their desk, beg them to hang out with them, and turn off their computer. Like it's just that it literally makes me so emotional. And this is why I'm so passionate about sharing this knowledge with photographers, because it's not okay. It's not okay for our life to pass us by like that. And for you to not be able to spend quality time with those you love most, like that is what life is all about. And are you just going to let your little fear, because you haven't experienced outsourcing before, or you don't know how to do it, or you're scared of letting go of a little bit of money initially, because it's an investment, a very smart investment, are you going to let that stop you from having the life you want forever? To me, it just doesn't make sense. And I believe in you. You might not believe in yourself right now, but I believe in you. And I know that I have the tools, the workflows that you can literally copy and paste from OMI, just like my past students have done. I believe in you. You are smart. You are capable. You've gone this far in your photography business. You've built it to this point. You can easily take some more knowledge and apply it and create the results that you want in your life. And I'm here for you. Okay. Okay. Another cost of not outsourcing is letting your life pass you by and not exploring the variety life has to offer. So not having other hobbies, interests, not traveling. Another cost is letting your life pass you by and not making the income that you want or need. Money. It's an amazing tool. There's nothing wrong with wanting more money. It could be used in such positive ways. And it gives us so much freedom to do what we want, to take care of our loved ones, to travel, to experience the world, to maybe take more time off if we want to. Like, you deserve to have that tool in your life in an abundance. And I want to help you get there. And lastly, another cost of not outsourcing is letting life pass you by and not staying excited about your business. How excited and terrified, right, were you to start your photography business? You're like, I love taking photos so much. I'm going to be able to get paid to do what I love. Like, oh my gosh, right? And then you find out that really you're shooting 5% of the time and you're doing everything else 95% of the time. I want to help you get back to that passion. I want to help you love photography again. I want to help you not resent your clients. I want to help you really run a business where you only have tasks that light you up, and everything else that you don't want to do, you can let go. That is being a true boss. That is being a true entrepreneur. And that is a life where you are running your business instead of it running you. Okay, so now I know what's going on in your head. You have limiting beliefs popping up, like, but this, but that, like limitations, right? Ideas in your head of like, but will this really work for me? And I'm going to just throw them out there and then debunk them because I care about you. Okay. So number one, you're like, okay, but what if I don't have enough bookings yet to outsource, right? Totally valid thought, totally valid concern, all of that, right? I just want you to know that the year I decided to outsource, I had 15 weddings booked, and that's pretty much it. I didn't really have any sessions. I only had some engagement sessions for those 15 weddings, right? I was burnt out, overwhelmed, and I wasn't making good money, okay, with only 15 weddings. Then that year when I was like, you know what, I'm going to choose to outsource so I can take on more shoots, I can market myself more, and also not be so burnt out. The following year, I doubled my bookings and I doubled my income. So if you want more bookings, you need to outsource, because if you're stuck behind your computer, editing, culling, trying to answer all the emails, trying to do all the things, then you don't have time to market your business, aka that's why you're not getting enough bookings in the first place, okay? It's an ecosystem. It's all connected. Number two, if you're like, well, I'm not making enough money yet to start outsourcing, I was only charging $2,500 per wedding when I started to outsource, and I had about 15 weddings or so, right? So that was kind of like $2,500 in North America is like you're just kind of starting out in the wedding industry, just starting out with weddings, right? And so I wasn't really making that much money either, because of course, from that $2,500 per wedding, there's money that goes to expenses, there's money that goes to taxes, and then you're left with the income that you're keeping, right? So the only reason I wasn't making more money was because I couldn't take on more shoots. I couldn't. In order for me to deliver a great client experience, for there to be a good turnaround time, I was like, I just don't have the bandwidth to shoot more. So I was literally leaving money on the table by saying no to extra shoots, or by not having enough time to market myself. So you're only going to stay stuck with not making enough money if you don't get help in your business. You're only going to stay stuck. So that is total BS. It actually costs you more money not to outsource. So if you're not outsourcing yet, you are leaving thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on the table. And one quick trick that I actually have photographers do, because they ask me, do I need to build in the cost of outsourcing into my prices when I start? And I'm like, nope, not at all. That's not how I did it. So you don't even have to be scared of having your pricing be higher right now and potentially missing out on bookings, which that's another limiting belief, but let's not get into that. You don't have to do that. What I actually did was, when I was charging $2,500 per wedding, my retainer was $1,000 to book me in officially for that wedding date. So what I decided to do was just increase the retainer to $1,500. No one said anything despite my fears. See, I was scared, but I moved through the fear and I did what I wanted to do in my business for my business. no one said anything. And I was starting to make a little bit more money per each wedding booking initially. And that's when I initially started to outsource. So I was basically not even spending more money than I was used to in my business. It was all kind of evening out what to outsource. But I was gaining so much time back, right? So I remember I said, you need to gain so much of your time back in order to have the time and space to bring in more of an income. So again, it's costing you more money not to start outsourcing now. You have to take the initial plunge, the initial uncomfortable plunge. And I promise you, as soon as you make the commitment to yourself and you let go, you're going to start seeing more bookings coming in. Lastly, you probably have the thought, you know what? No one can do it as well as I can in my business. Like, I do things, I'm a perfectionist, I'm a control freak. I can't let go of control. I tried outsourcing before. It didn't work out how I needed it to, all the things, right? You're basically talking to, like, if you're saying all that, that was basically me 5 years ago. I'm also a perfectionist. I want things to be done really well. I have ways that I like things being done, right? But I figured out, it's hard for me to explain in here. This is exactly why I have my Outsourcing Made Easy course. I've just figured out a way to teach people really easily and effectively how to communicate exactly what you want, how you want done, and for things to actually start coming back the way you want them. And I want that so badly for you. If I was able to figure it out for myself, where I was like a super duper control freak, then you are able to do it for yourself too. And you don't have to do it for yourself. I'm literally just going to show you and teach you, and you just copy and paste that into your business. And so what I want you to remember is all of these thoughts are BS in your mind. It is just your ego trying to protect you and keep you in survival mode, because our ego doesn't like us to be uncomfortable or grow or try new things. And it's totally normal to literally have these thoughts to protect ourselves, to be logical, right? But that is why I made sure to capture all of these statistics in my business to show you that, so I can logically also explain to you how this works, how outsourcing is an actual very, very smart investment into your business. And I want to show you with some proof. So Katie Silva, she's one of my students, and in the Outsourcing Made Easy private members only group where I support my students, they support each other. It's a nice, beautiful little community. This is what she posted one day. She said, I sent off a gallery to be culled at 2 a.m. last night and a few other tasks. I woke up and everything is done. It's pretty damn cool to wake up and have shit done for you. Oh, and she's nailing it too. So she was also scared of letting go of control, but look at that. The person she was outsourcing to was nailing it based on how I taught Katie to teach, to train someone how to do the tasks like she likes them. Here's another example, Samantha Joy. She wrote, I'm crying right now because the next 2 months are insane. I've been so stressed, and I was extra stressed because I was trying to train my VA on top of it. I sent her a huge, very challenging brand gallery to edit last night. There were 600 photos from a full day. And I just opened it and it's done and basically perfect. I cannot believe it. It's just insane that we can send something, go to sleep, wake up, and it's done. Life changing. So sorry, I'm just having a moment here. Thank you for everything, Sarah Monica. So if that's not proof that, that you can't do this, I don't know what is, because these students were feeling the same way. They were also scared. They were also overwhelmed. They were also, could this really work for me? And they committed it to themselves and they trusted me. And now they are on the other side, thriving in their life and business. And just as a reminder, in case you didn't tune into the previous episode, if you're unsure of when is the perfect time for you to start outsourcing, then here are 3 signs. Number 1, you're getting bored of tasks or you're procrastinating them. Number 2, you feel burnt out and overworked and overwhelmed. That is a big one. And number 3, if you are not bringing in the income you need and desire, it's time to outsource. Okay, so next up, as I promised you, I'm going to just walk you through the modules that are included in your Outsourcing Made Easy course. So as soon as you log in, there is a welcome video that's about a minute long, And I walk you through exactly what you need to do first in order to get started in the smartest, best way in the course. So I give you those instructions, and then right away you can take one click underneath the video and download the entire course workbook. Because what I've made sure to do is to make sure that the course is really powerful for auditory learners, visual learners, and kinetic learners. So if you're any type of learner, there is like everything is included for you to learn your best way possible. So there are video lessons for every single lesson, and every single video obviously has audio with it. So that's amazing for audio and video learners. And then on top of that, for kinetic learners, there are so many, like I said, there's a course workbook, and each lesson you can actually even just download the what's it called? The appropriate worksheet for that lesson. So you don't have to download the whole course workbook if you don't want. That's totally up to you. So it's all in there, and everything is written out step by step. So you're never left wondering, what do I do next? How do I do it? It's all there. And so now let me walk you through all the modules and of what you're going to learn. So module 1 is the foundation to your success, and that one is 35 minutes long. Module 2, the art of working less and making more. That one is 25 minutes long. Module 3, planning what to outsource first. That one is 9 minutes long. This is where you'll have so much clarity on where to start, because the last thing I want to do is overwhelm you and you try outsourcing everything at once. No. You're going to start with one thing, and that one thing, you'll see how the overwhelm is just going to lift off your shoulders. Okay, then module 4. So after module 3, I tell my students to pick their own adventure. So from there, you're either going to go to module 4, 5, or 6 to decide if you're going to start outsourcing your culling first, your editing, or hiring a virtual assistant. So that's going to be your own journey there. So module 4, that's an option. It would be your outsourcing culling framework, and that is 1 hour, 18 minutes. There's module 5, your roadmap to successfully outsourcing editing. That one is 3 hours long, and that's only because I show you some very detailed feedback videos that I sent to my editor, a whole bunch of other content that is also your choice to watch if you need more clarity. Module number 6, how to successfully hire a virtual assistant in 2 weeks. That is 1 hour and 53 minutes. And again, that's a little bit longer because I want to make sure you do it right. And that's like, as soon as you do it, you hire that virtual assistant, you don't have to worry about you hired the wrong person, you have to rehire, you have to go through it all over again. No, it's done right. And I make sure to teach that step by step. And then you also have a bonus module where you will be learning passive income by outsourcing album design. So I have a whole system in place where literally I just have my clients pay the invoice with the album in there. And then my virtual assistant designs the album for them. She communicates back the changes needed back and forth, and that's sorry, and that's pretty much it. So I literally just take payment, and she takes care of everything else. And also, if you've tuned into previous episodes, you know that I am able to hire a very affordable virtual assistant just based on where they are in the world. So my amazing virtual assistant Rachel, she is based in the Philippines, and I teach you how to find your virtual assistant there. And the amazing thing is that when we first started working together 2 years ago, I was able to pay her $5 an hour Canadian. And if you're like, whoa, what? How? It's only the conversion on the dollar. So for me, it's very affordable. For her, it's like a regular hourly rate. And over time, as I've given her more responsibility, more tasks, obviously with my education side of my business, with the podcast, everything, I've increased her pay to $9.7 an hour Canadian, but you can easily stay around the $5, $6 mark, $7 mark if you want. And that is what I'm so passionate about teaching as well, because I used to outsource to a virtual assistant that it wasn't working out for me, and she was $50 an hour, and I was just like, oh, I wasn't giving her any work because it was costing me too much. And so I teach how to just start simply with low cost for those that want to start that way as well. So there's just so much information here for you. On top of that, there are live support calls, 7 live support calls included, where I am there to troubleshoot with you, to answer your questions, to help you get through your mindset blocks, all of that. And the way that I've designed it is that for the first 3 calls, I'm doing them at the end of this 2021 season, and they're starting, I think the last week of Monday. Let me see here. Last week of Monday, that didn't make sense. Last Monday of October. So the first one is October 25th. And yeah, that's a support call that's starting out the whole journey for all my Omis. And then there's 2 more to follow. So there's 3 to close out the season. And then the amazing thing is that I want to make sure you're fully set up for the following season. And after the off season in like May and June, there are 4 support calls to get us all together again and started so that all of your workflows are in place. They are in order and you're ready to go for the season so that you have your time, your working time cut in half and you're making a higher income. So all of that is included. It's the most impactful, life-changing course that I have created. And it all reflects in so many of the stories of my students. So the way I see it, the investment is a no-brainer in your education because as soon as you have more time on your hands, you'll easily make that income back and way more. Remember, like I said, the first year I decided to outsource, I doubled my income. And you'll easily be able to pay back the cost of the course with just 1 wedding booked or a couple sessions booked. And on top of that, the price of the course with the results that it gets you, it's literally so cheap and affordable if you look at it through that lens. If you look at it through the lens that with this knowledge, you'll be able to bring in tens of thousands of more dollars into your business and into your life, then it's like a no-brainer investment. And also, if you choose not to invest, if it's the right time for you to start outsourcing and you choose not to invest, then you are literally not paying the price of the course to then choose to not make a higher income. So it costs you more money to not invest in the course. And I've made sure to make it really affordable. There's even a 12-month payment plan because I believe I could have easily priced this like 3 times more. And even my students are like, Sarah, like this needs to be priced higher. But I wanted to make sure that it was accessible. I wanted to share another story here from one of my amazing students, Christina Sturpey, because you might be able to relate to this. So she wrote, if someone told me at the beginning of 2019 that I was going to take an outsourcing course at the end of the year, I would have laughed. Outsourcing was not for me and no one could work in my business as well as I could. But the need to outsource hit me like a ton of bricks. I was burnt out, unmotivated, and felt completely lost. Not only did Sarah's Outsourcing Made Easy program change my perspective, I learned that I was able to continue doing the things I loved and outsource the things that didn't bring me joy. And she also gave me the exact steps I needed to take every step of the way. The hours upon hours I saved with that information alone is worth every penny of the course. So now, as you can see, Christina is on the other side of fear and on the other side of thinking that it wouldn't work for her. And I want the same for you. If you are uncomfortable or scared, that is totally normal. Remember, just as you were first starting to shoot sessions and weddings, like you were terrified, right? But you did it anyway. You went after your dream. And I just want you to remember that fear is your compass because that means that you want it and you care. So what I want you to do right now is go to sarahmonica.com/freedom and sign up. Commit to yourself for a life of more time and financial freedom. And I'm going to be so honored, so grateful, so excited to support you because your success is literally my success. And that's all I want for you. And I'm going to stop. I'm not going to stop until you have it. Right. And remember, as soon as you commit to yourself and you go for it, that fear will turn into excitement. So as soon as you hit pay now and you get that email in your inbox saying, here's your login information, get started, it's going to turn into excitement and possibility because you'll know you have a step-by-step plan and you have me to support you every step of the way. So don't go through it like I did, where I had to go in the dark, not knowing how to do it, screw up along the way, waste time, waste money along the way. I can save you all of that, right? I wish I had someone show me and teach me all of this the way I'm doing it right now, like a step-by-step process that you can copy and paste into your business. I would have saved so much time and energy. So let me take your hand. Let me take you to that dream life that you so want and desire and deserve. So go to sarahmonica.com/freedom. And I cannot wait to support you throughout the course. Now, last thing, in case you forgot the deadline, it's October 21st, 2021. That's when the doors are closing for an entire year. So I support my students really well. And the next round won't be until the fall of 2022. If you are like still something is holding you back, still unsure, just DM me at sarahmonicaphoto.com, not .com, at sarahmonicaphoto on Instagram, and tell me what you're thinking, what your fear is. Ask me a question if it's the right fit for you. Again, I will never, ever, ever point you in the direction of what's not the right fit for you in your business right now, because I'm too passionate about entrepreneurship and like taking business owners and having them be super, super successful. So I will never give you bad advice, and I will never just try to tell you to take my course just so I earn money. Literally, my number one passion is to save photographers from burnout and overwhelm and not making the money they deserve. So if you message me and you're feeling fearful and stuck and all this stuff, and everything is pointing to yes, like this is literally the smartest next step in your photography business, I will straight up say that to you. And maybe it'll give you the confidence that you need to take the next step. So DM me. I am here to have this conversation with you. And that's pretty much it. And again, go to sarahmonica.com/freedom to get your spot now. Don't wait another day to have more freedom in your life and business.